Okay, so I'm gonna just share. I have a lot of stories, and maybe you want to hear them, maybe you don't. If you don't, that's fine too. There's other channels here on YouTube. If you want to have other appraisers talking about just showing you charts and numbers and how great they are, whatever, that's all fine and dandy, But doing this job, you do encounter so many issues. Okay, whether it's being chased by dogs, the cops following you because you're driving around the neighborhood slowly. They're like, well, who's this dude right here? Sometimes the gang members are like, well, who's this dude in our neighborhood? So then you'll get it's called boxing in. Like that's happened to me before too, where one car blocks you in the front, another one comes from behind, and all these gang bangers are there. And like, what do you do? What do you do? So I grew up in East LA, and I lived there for like 26 years. So I know what to do. The first thing you got to do is you got to remain calm and be respectful and don't act all tough with them. You're going to lose. You're in their neighborhood. You're by yourself. But, I always remain calm. Like in that one situation where I got boxed in and they're like, hey, SA, well, what are you doing around here? Why are you taking a picture of my house? And I have to take a picture because that's a comparable, But I tell them the truth. Say, hey, dude, you know what, man? This is my job. I'm an appraiser. I have to take pictures. I know your property recently sold. Well, how do you know about my property? They get all tough and all that shit, So, I tell them, you know what? I'm just here taking pictures. I respect your neighborhood. I'm not claiming anything. I'm not all tatted up or whatever, So, that's it. If you show them respect, okay, you're not there with any bad intentions. You don't have an attitude. Really, they're gonna. Oh, all right, get out of here, man. Go ahead. Let me. Or sometimes, okay, let me get out of the picture because I got warrants or whatever. Whether they do or not, most likely they do, but I can't say either way. It's cool. So they let you go about your business. And now the thing is, you show them respect because the next time they see you, they know who you are. Okay. And I'll tell you another story. So I go down to this in LA in Watts, and I go to this house. It's supposed to be a vacant house, and there's these two OGs, and I would say they were probably like in their 40s or 50s. They weren't young guys; they were old guys, right? They're kicking back right there, and I'm expecting the house to be vacant. But as I'm driving around, I noticed that they're still there. I was like, oh, okay. I'd rather not deal with them, because you never know. Are they on crack? Are they high? Whatever the heck it is, So I'm like, you know what? No, I just drove all the way. At that time, I was living in El Monte. I just drove from El Monte all the way down to LA. I'm going to do my job, okay? So I pull over, and of course, they stand right there looking at me, and I just get out. Hey, how you guys doing, man? Like, well, who are you, I introduce myself. I tell them, well, I got to do the bank sent me down here. I got to do an appraisal on the property, and the two guys are right there. It turns out they were just drinking beer and smoking cigarettes. So, I'm trying to build a little bit of rapport with them and tie out from the streets too. I could talk your language or whatever. So, in the process of us talking, I accidentally kicked over this guy's 40. Oh, he got pissed. Oh, he was like, oh man, that was my last 40, man. It's like, what the fuck? He was mad, right? He was mad. His homie's like, hey homie, you gonna let him get away with that? You gonna let him get away with that? So now it's turning hostile, but not 100% yet. I apologize. Hey, dude, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to kick your beer. It was just an accident, He said, well, now you gotta give me money, so I gotta go get. I said, dude. I told him I don't have any money on me right now, but I told him if you let me do my job, okay, when I get through, I'm gonna hook you up with a 6-pack or another 40 or whatever you want, nice and cold one, And then the guy's looking at me like he didn't know whether it was gonna, yeah, right, you just, bullshitting. And his partner like, nah, homie, take his cash now. And I'm thinking, damn, this is gonna turn from bad to worse. Now I'm going to get jumped. And I said, nah, dude. I said, as a matter of fact, just let me do it. I will come back. So at least the one guy that I kicked over his bottle, he was like, all right, we'll see, you know. So they let me do my job, which I was there about, I don't know, 40 minutes or something like that. And I told them I'm gonna come right back. So I finished up. I went down to the liquor store, and I got a guy a 12 pack, and I also got him a pack of cigarettes. So I went back and I said, hey, here you go, dude, right here. He just looked at me like, came back, man. You came, yeah, I told you, dude. Hey, man, I tell him I'm a man of my word. If I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it, you know. And his instigator homie on the other side, he's like, oh, true that, you know. So it was kind of funny, and the fact that they didn't think I was gonna come back, or it could have escalated. I kind of de-escalated the situation. But you got to also understand too, when you're in the streets and you're somebody else's neighborhood, you got to be respectful, because you know you're not from there. You're a stranger there. And the other thing is, because I always go to those areas, by me showing this guy respect and keeping my word, okay, that builds a credibility, because you never know. Next time we're in the neighborhood, some goes off somewhere. Those two guys could be standing in the corner right there or close by and say, you know what? No, they're cool, man. Let them go. That's called having street cred. So you got to build that kind of credibility with people that are from the streets, especially in their neighborhood. You're not from there. So the lesson, I guess, if anything, that I want to say here is that it's very important to always be respectful when you're in somebody else's neighborhood, when you're around strangers, okay? You don't want to have an attitude toward people just because they're street people. Because one thing street people have is they have instinct. They can sense fear, they can sense hostility, they could sense if something's about to pop off, and they all talking, everybody knows everybody, man. So the guy you see today, you may not even realize a mile down the street, he's got homies over there. A mile up on this way, he's got homies. So, you know, word spreads pretty good. So that was one of my stories from the streets in LA. And I'll have more other things. I mean, so many things have happened. But the one time this guy was chasing me, I'm not going to tell you the full story right now, but the guy was in Long Beach. The same situation. This gangster was just kind of talking crap the whole time I was doing my job. And then when I left, the dude, well, I might as well tell you right now. So when I left, the dude starts following me. He starts chasing me in his bike. And I'm like, what the hell, man? You know, I don't know if he's got a gun. I don't know if, you know, what the hell. All of a sudden, this guy just chasing me. Hey, motherfucker. So I take off. You know, I'm trying to ignore him, but he's gotten to the side where he knew I could see him in my rear view mirror. So I'm like, you know what? I'm in his neighborhood, and, you know, I know things going to get nasty pretty bad. So what I did is I built up some speed so he could build up some speed. And then I just hit my brakes. He slammed into the back of my truck. He went down, and I took off. What happened I know he didn't die, but whatever happened to him, you know, it happened. And that's the kind of stuff that could be, you know, that's the kind of stuff you don't see on these videos about being an appraiser, being a home inspector on the field. But these things do happen to you. So you always got to be careful of your surroundings, always be respectful, and every now and then you got to fight back.